With KCOM, it's a fantastic working relationship with n2s. I think it's a partnership. It's two companies who share an ideal, which is how do we have the lowest impact in the environment and how do we make sure that we're not contributing to the growing mountain of e-waste that's around the world.
We're looking at decommissioning our copper network, but what that does is as we decommission that, we're left with a lot of redundant equipment. Working with n2s is going to enable us to minimise any waste going to landfill. It's that idea of urban mining is taking a circuit board and almost applying that same sort of idea that this is a resource that has a precious material in it, and actually by extracting those metals and looking at the other sort of materials that are there, and that can then go back and actually be used to make useful products. So it's a really efficient way of actually making the best of what would have been obsolete materials in redundant equipment.
KCOM, massive service provider up in Hull and the surrounding areas, and we're looking with KCOM as to how we can best support each other in removing the legacy telecoms equipment, recover the metals that are in that technology, and then push those back into the manufacturing processes so there's less need to mine precious metals from the earth.
I'm looking after the bacteria, our bioreactors. The bacteria in them, I like to call them my babies, because you need to make sure they're fed, you need to make sure that they're warm, you need to make sure that everything is good with them for them to be able to do what you need them to do, which is leaching out e-waste. You start off with a piece of equipment. These have printed circuit boards in them. These printed circuit boards are ground up. You separate the components from the fiberglass, from the other bits that you don't want, the plastics. And then what we do is we get the components, they're crushed up into a fine powder. Our bacteria can now leach that fine powder, and we can extract metals out of that because those printed circuit boards have so many different metals in them. So after our bioleaching, we do electroplating, and then we can extract metals like copper, nickel, gold, platinum. Yeah.
If you look at traditional e-waste recycling, all they really care about is copper and gold. Copper because it's the most abundant, and gold because it's one of the most expensive. There are lots of other minor metals, nickel, zinc, aluminium and tin. So we're trying to take out everything so that nothing gets put into landfill.
If we look at this is a global problem. This is not just a telecommunications problem. Everybody at home's got a drawer full of phones. Everybody at home's got an old Xbox that isn't being used by the kids anymore. We all are growing an e-waste mountain, and we have to have a solution to that that doesn't do further damage to the environment and possibly avoids having to dig up more minerals from the earth and stops us destroying the planet at the rate we're destroying it today.
I think we have a moral responsibility. You know, net zero is very well understood, but we've got to see all our resources as being very precious. You know, the world can't sustain just endless consumerism. A responsible business has got to look at ways in which we can minimise the impact on the environment by reusing everything we've got as efficiently as possible.
So what's our ambition? Our ambition is to have a close to zero or zero carbon footprint while we recover the metals back from the e-waste that we no longer need.